The morning sun bathed the little house in a warm glow. Birds chirped sweetly in the mango tree outside. Inside, the old woman, Lakshmi, bustled about, her face alight with anticipation. Today was the day she would leave for Haridwar to take a dip in the holy Ganges. Her son, Ramesh, helped her pack, his face etched with concern for her well-being. His wife, Shanta, prepared snacks for the journey, while their little daughter, Maya, clung to her grandmother's sari, her eyes filled with wonder. Only Lakshmi's daughter-in-law, Sita, seemed detached from the excitement. She performed her household chores mechanically, her mind preoccupied with her own thoughts. Lakshmi had invited everyone in the family to join her on the pilgrimage, except Sita. "It's for the good of your soul," she had said to Sita, her voice laced with a pity that stung more than anger. Sita understood. She was the daughter of a poor weaver, while Lakshmi came from a wealthy family. Her humble origins were a constant source of disapproval for her mother-in-law. As the day progressed, the house buzzed with preparations. Ramesh had hired a car for the journey. Lakshmi distributed sweets to the neighbors, her face glowing with piety. Sita watched from a distance, her heart heavy with a sense of exclusion. She longed to be a part of the family's joy, to share in their spiritual journey. But a wall of unspoken prejudice seemed to separate her from them. Later that evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Lakshmi spoke excitedly about the pilgrimage. "I have been saving for this trip for years," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "To wash away my sins in the sacred river is my lifelong dream." Ramesh nodded in agreement, his eyes filled with respect for his mother's devotion. Even little Maya seemed to understand the significance of the occasion, her tiny hands folded in prayer. Sita listened quietly, her heart aching with a longing she couldn't express. She too yearned for spiritual solace, for a sense of peace that seemed to elude her. But her piety was a private affair, confined to the quiet corners of her heart. She had never been one for outward displays of devotion, preferring instead to express her faith through simple acts of kindness and service. She wondered if her mother-in-law would ever recognize the sincerity of her beliefs, or if she would always be judged for her humble beginnings. As the days turned into weeks, Sita threw herself into her household chores with renewed vigor. She cooked, cleaned, and cared for Maya with unwavering dedication. She found solace in the rhythm of her work, in the simple act of creating a loving and harmonious home for her family. Yet a part of her yearned for recognition, for a sign that her efforts were appreciated. Meanwhile, Lakshmi was in Haridwar, immersed in rituals and prayers. She bathed in the Ganges, offered prayers at the temples, and distributed alms to the poor. Yet even amidst the fervor of her pilgrimage, her mind often wandered back to her home. She worried about the arrangements for Ramesh's upcoming business trip, fretted about Maya's cough, and wondered if Sita was managing the household efficiently in her absence. One day, as she stood at the edge of the Ganges, her heart filled with a strange sense of emptiness, a realization dawned on her. She had come seeking peace, but her mind was still tethered to the mundane worries of her life. She had traveled miles, performed countless rituals, yet she felt no closer to God than she did in her own little prayer room back home. As she watched the swirling waters of the Ganges, a wave of guilt washed over her. She thought of Sita, her quiet daughter-in-law, who had accepted her exclusion with grace and dignity. Sita, who had never asked for anything, yet tirelessly served her family with love and devotion. Lakshmi realized that she had been blinded by her own prejudices, unable to see the true worth of her daughter-in-law's character. Upon her return home, Lakshmi was greeted with warmth and affection. The house was spotlessly clean, the air fragrant with the aroma of freshly prepared food. Maya ran into her arms, her laughter echoing through the house. Sita greeted her with a shy smile, her eyes reflecting a quiet strength that Lakshmi had never noticed before. "While you were away, I found something," Sita said, her voice soft yet firm. She held out her open palm, revealing a small silver ring. It was Lakshmi's, the one she had lost in the Ganges. "I knew you'd be worried, so I cleaned the well in the backyard, just like you taught me," Sita explained. And there it was, glinting in the sunlight. Lakshmi stared at the ring, her eyes filled with tears. In that moment she understood. The true Ganges, the river of purity, flowed not in some distant land, but within the heart of her own home. It flowed through the selfless actions of her daughter-in-law, through the love and devotion that Sita showered upon her family every single day. From that day forward, Lakshmi's heart softened towards Sita. She finally saw past the barriers of caste and social standing, recognizing the true piety that resided within her daughter-in-law's heart. The pilgrimage to Haridwar had been an outward journey, but it was the inward journey, the journey of the heart, that had truly transformed Lakshmi's life. She had finally understood the meaning of the saying, "Man changa to kathauti mein Ganga." If your heart is pure, then the Ganges flows in your courtyard.